Hello everyone, Care Bear here to share with you a finished object. It is a little hat. So let me tell you why I decided to make this little hat. Back in February, I was a test knitter for the Jasmine Jacket Mini, which you see there on the screen. I can also hold it up here. Cute little jacket by Nash Knits. And I had leftover yarn and I wanted to use the yarn up. There wasn't much. And I wanted to put an accessory with this cute little jacket. So I had done some research on Ravelry. A friend of mine said, oh, Care, it'd be cute if you could do a little muff. And I thought, oh, yeah, that would be cute with this little jacket. I could see that. So I did some research and found a number of cute little muffs on Ravelry, but I didn't have enough yarn and I wasn't going to be able to get any more with that dye lot. So I decided it's not going to be a muff for this one. I'll do one maybe in the future. So I did find this cute little design called Little Lamb by Drops Design. And it is actually a pattern for a hat and a onesie. And they have, I'm just looking at my notes here, they have a number of sizes, I think from 1 to 3 months all the way up to 3 or 4 years old. So I decided to make, I think I did the 12 to 18 months, just the hat. I didn't want the onesie, obviously. I didn't have enough yarn for that. And it called for DK weight yarn to use a US 4 3.5 millimeter needles and also for a US 6 and a 4 millimeter needle. If you're going to do the onesie, I think there's another needle size that you need to have in order to do that. And I'll put a picture in here to show you what that design looks like. So I had used with the Jasmine jacket and also with this hat, the Drops Charisma there. And I had some black left over. I think I used 24 grams of the black and I had some pink left over. So I used 30 grams or so of the pink. And I had a little bit of a problem with this because I think the Charisma was a bit too thick. I didn't do a swatch. I did a swatch when I did the test knit, but I didn't do a swatch for this. And I think the Charisma is a bit too thick for this. I think I would look more for a lighter DK weight yarn than this one. So I think that probably was part of what the changes I had to make, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So it's a bottom-up construction. You're working in the round, um, and it does have a little ribbing there. I'll bring it up nice and close so you can see. So there is a knit one, purl one rib, and then it goes into the body. So then I changed needles to 4 millimeter needles, and then you're gradually increasing at a number of points. And you can see it more in the pink than you can in the black, but you're gradually increasing to get that to a certain point where it's more like a tam. And if you look at, I'll show the pattern, the original, but it is in a tam or a beret shape. And then from there, once you get out to the full circumference, you then start to decrease and you can see the line of decreasing. I'll just spread it out a little bit there so you can see it. And yeah, so I started to do the decreasing and then I got up pretty high and it started to become tone like. And I didn't like that. And I think it's because, again, that charisma is just a little bit too thick. And you need something that's 20. Um, and charisma is about 22 stitches per inch. And so this was, yeah, it was too much. Anyway, so I had to pull it out and make some adjustments to the sizing because I didn't want quite that cone shape. I wanted a flatter shape at the top. So I did write in my instructions or my notes page on Ravelry what I did to make that change if you plan to use the same weight yarn that I did, just so that you know that part didn't quite work out the same for me. But I really like it. I think it's going to be a cute little hat to go with that coat. And I decided just to make it a little more feminine, I'll say, I decided to add this little bow. And I've put a link in the description below for the bow, but I'll just tell you a little bit about how I make the bows. I just cast on, I work in the round, you don't have to work in the round, but I cast on about 24 stitches using a 4mm needle, and then I just knit uh, a number of rounds. I think I did 12. It depends how high you want your bow to be. And then I cast off, and you have this little rectangle, circular cylinder. You pinch it in the middle, wrap the yarn around it, and secure it. And then I put the bow onto the hat. And I just think it gives it a little more cutesy, a little more feminine look. And yeah, so that's the little hat that I added to the jacket. And together, I think they're going to be really cute. So I've used up my yarn, which I really wanted to do. So I have the hat and the jacket, and I like to get rid of as much yarn as possible because I don't have a lot of room to store yarn. Um, if you like the Jasmine Jacket Mini by Nash Knits, I put a link below to her Ravelry page as well as my Ravelry page where I have that. And I also put the link below to uh, to the bow and also to the Little Lamb design by Drops, as well as the link to my Little Lamb hat on Ravelry. So thanks for watching. If you want to make accessories for little ones, check out these.